There we are. Hmm.
With the gods now listening, we're all going to pull Heathers and roll Heathers.
I don't think
Uh,
we're really pulling Heather. I'm pretty sure we're just rolling Heathers.
well, I did just roll a 20.
Although
Nice.
Heather would be really, really fun, but she has a broken leg. That's
She can
not
roll dice.
that's not what I was talking about.
You can have
Oh,
a
if I hear
rolling
that
chair.
though.
So, does everybody remember where we left off last time?
At the docks,
That's
we
correct.
just met Uncle Mermaid Man, and we're having drinks with him and his crew.
Let's try and keep this away from the SpongeBob IP.
Oh, is
Uh,
that a SpongeBob thing? You know I
yes,
don't like SpongeBob, and I have no idea.
I
Mermaid
knew
Man
the
is the
reason I liked her.
major superhero in SpongeBob.
Cool. I wasn't talking about that guy.
There was the reason I liked Brooke. Not a fan of SpongeBob.
I hate SpongeBob so much.
Man.
Okay. So we were on the
Anyway,
docks having a drink with Uncle Not
As I
Mermaid
pull my
guy.
SpongeBob painting off the wall.
It's okay if you like SpongeBob. I just don't like
yeah,
Who
so
didn't use the torch for a while?
yeah, where we sort of left off with this is y'all had encountered Torch's Uncle Ren,
it.
who had just recently pulled up to the docks in a very broken down ship, and you had offered to assist in the payment to help get that back to running. That was not at all something he expected, and he was incredibly grateful, and has decided to host a party for you. And so all of you were just sort of in the tavern with him and any other crew that might have rolled into town, and all the other odds and ends that sort of.
We didn't we also go back to the tower and give what's his name Modair whatever he was looking for, and
Yes,
then we walked away.
yes, yeah. You had gone and had this whole like big hurrah with him, and then went off to Moldair to give him his ingredients, the basilisk tongue. Uh, and yeah, I believe that you had just sort of walked off when we called game.
Yeah, it's like riding out into the sunset.
Right,
Yeah.
basically. So you now have about a day in the city before the ship is going to be back to working order. So is there anything that you want to do before you head out?
Yes. Um, some of us wear heavy armor, and
Mhm.
we will be on a boat, ship, on the water.
Hmm.
If there's an apothecary where I could pick up some potions of water breathing, that would be fantastic. Because the
Mm.
dog paddle don't work.
Yeah,
Um,
but the warlock with the belt buckle that has 3 charges of water breathing for me and up to 10 people, that does work.
let me take a look at that spell. Let's see what level it is.
I don't know. It's immune to my belt buckle.
It's a third level spell. So
Is the warlock asking me to trust the warlock that shot me in the head last time?
For the 700th time, I didn't shoot you in the head. I shot you in the helmet.
ding.
It made that noise.
Very little different.
And
Yeah. I wear the helmet for display. The head's denser.
that's true.
You said it, not me.
Yeah, I heard it.
Oh no,
I
no,
was
dwarves.
saying shooting someone in the helmet is the same thing as shooting them in the head. It's, yeah.
So let's do. Here's my 10.
I think
See,
River would want to go tell her family that she's leaving and say goodbye.
Okay, William, You can get potions of water breathing. I'll say up to two of them. But they're going to cost 250 gold pieces apiece.
Okay, deal. I'll mark it off my
Yeah.
thing.
Okay, cool. Yeah, as a third level spell, that's sort of an uncommon level of potion, so it costs a little bit.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're
Hey,
welcome.
Miles, I'm not saying it has to be done right now, but the Red Dragon scale belt that I
Mhm.
have, is that just the belt or is that the buckle included with it?
Mm, I think that might just be the belt.
Okay. Because it's supposed to have the belt buckle that's my sigil from the Singing Pines, and that should be imbued with whatever Pickle did to make it so that I could breathe underwater.
Oh, that's right.
Would
Yeah,
that be
I haven't put that magic item together yet,
okay?
but I can do that before we play next.
Okay. So, I mean, yeah, I hope I don't need that today, so I can't.
You will definitely need it today. Roll for initiative.
William's face.
Really, right now?
No, I know that was a joke. That was
Oh,
100%
I
a
was
joke.
like, what? Okay.
That was fun though, that everyone sort of jumped to attention.
Like y'all were bullshitting about, I honestly don't even remember. And then you said roll for initiative.
Yeah. Wah,
This was
wah, wah, wah,
excitement.
wah, 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 wah. Roll for initiative.
Yeah. I mean, y'all were talking about some item of Ryan's that I don't. Anyway,
It's like
uh,
whenever dogs listen to you and it's want 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 dinner want walk.
exactly.
Lord Dadu is gonna go to the school and say goodbye to anybody who's teaching there.
Okay.
Tell them to keep up the good work of, deceiving people and
Okay.
intimidating people. That way they people can learn. It's
All
important.
right. Ryan, uh, are you among your own students going to select an adjunct professor to stand in for you while you're gone?
Is Pickle in the class?
Do you mean fickle?
Yeah.
Fickle fanfare?
Fickle fan scale.
That's
Sure.
the one.
Is Pickle Panscale in the class? What?
This
He
is
missed
feeling
the
a
best
lot like
cast.
casserole and carrot top.
Oh, I feel like we need some sort of like a legend to go by because you're giving all of these characters their own different names now, where it's going to get to a point where you don't know who the fuck I'm talking about.
I mean, never that far off the original name.
Anyway, no, he would not be interested in that because fickle is lawful good.
Look, you can be lawful good and know how to deceive people and know how to intimidate people. This way you don't get intimidated, and this way you aren't deceived.
You're 100% correct. I'm not saying that good people don't try to deceive people. In fact, I think there's lots of proof of that everywhere. What I am saying, though, is that he is sort of just an innocent, cute little guy and has no interest in deceiving anyone. He really would rather just give you whatever snacks he's eating instead of have you beat him up for them.
Oh, that sounds like Pickle. All right. So, yes, if there's someone else in the class who is a good person, so, not trying to take advantage and become an evil lich overlord, who's just trying to learn how to do these things to defend themselves and their friends, yeah, that's who I would pick.
Okay, Ryan, do you want to give this person a name?
Uh um, we're gonna go with Maestro.
Nice.
All right.
For my daughter watching this later, the first name that came to mind was Jamin.
Mm, yeah, I've got it in the chat right now, Maestro Jamin.
Hi,
I-
Jamin.
I'm also okay with that.
Yeah, all right.
So yeah, Lord Dad is just gonna say goodbye and tell them to keep up the good work of training people how not to be deceived and how not to be intimidated by, of course, intimidating the crap out of all of them all the time and deceiving them as often as humanly possible. That's how you learn.
Sure thing.
Principal will back me up on this.
There we go. Went ahead and made that note in the chat so that we have that to refer to later if we end up needing it. Okay. So yeah, you appoint someone that you don't think is going to be so evil that they in fact are harder to take back the class from when you return. A chaotic good enchantment wizard.
Oh, I like this.
Mhm. Okay. Anything else from anybody?
Oh, I said River would probably go tell her family goodbye.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Um, yeah, at this point, the headquarters has all been restored, so your mom and most of your family is probably still living out of there, even though the guilds no longer need to operate.
Right. Yeah. So I think that I would go there and say goodbye to my family.
Okay. Um, are you planning to spend the day there, or what?
Yeah,
Do you...
probably.
Okay, that makes sense. You've lived here your whole
Yeah.
life. This is your first time wanting to go out.
Yeah.
Okay. What about Torch? Anything for you?
I have this thing that says unidentified monk staff. Can I identify that before we leave?
Yeah, actually, you can. I don't have the magic item created in D&D Beyond yet, because I honestly wasn't expecting this. But yeah, absolutely you can. Do you have the identify spell?
Do I? What?
I mean, you can still get it done, but it's going to cost money to get it done.
Identify. Cast.
There you go.
Right.
Okay. So that staff that you have has a name. It is this sort of almost iridescently glowing aura of enchantment and evocation. You can feel inside this thing, it has its own sentience, even though it isn't like some of the other sentient items you've found that have been able to talk. It can sense and know what is going on around it and choose who to allow to use its abilities. I'm going to let you make an Arcana roll. Shit, that's a 20. Okay. We'll say in a combination between your Identify spell and that Arcana roll, you would know that this staff is something that is considered a sacred item to the temples of the Stone Tooth Mountains.
All right.
It is part of this legend about a monk that defended their city from an onslaught of werewolves. The name of that staff is Jarin, the Ringing Bell.
That's cool. Better than the staff I picked.
Yes, actually, if you want to compare the two, Iron Spine was a lawful evil staff, and Jarin is a lawful good staff.
Yeah. Good job, Torch.
I'm going to tell you without knowing anything else about it, as far as what it is capable of doing. You do know that this is as sort of referenced before, this is really the kind of weapon that would aid a monk or a hand-to-hand combatant a whole lot more than anyone else.
You don't need it. William, you don't need it. Got enough toys.
Okay.
As a DM, I have studied the ideas people have had for D&D. I do not have enough toys.
Can only play with so many toys at one time.
That's a true statement.
See, really, the whole thing you're missing here is to wish for more genies. Anything else you interested in doing? Okay, cool. And what about Tonks? Is there anything that Tonks is doing before everybody is setting out the next day?
Actually, oh crap. Tonks wants to do things. Oh no, I'm melting down. Okay. Tonks would like to stay behind.
So,
Maybe and like not go with us?
Yes.
so then, like at the end of this whole outing, while everyone else is out deciding what they're going to be doing, when the whole group reassembles at the end of the day, that's the first thing on Tonks' mind. Or
Maybe I
do
did
you,
it too soon.
huh?
Maybe I did
No.
it too soon.
No, you didn't. No, like that's
Okay.
I asked you what you wanted to do, and now I'm asking you how you
Oh.
want to frame it.
Yes. Yes.
Like, for instance, were you trying to say that because Tonks has decided she doesn't want to continue onward, that she is going to like not say anything and sort of fade off into the dusk?
Oh no,
Or like,
not at
okay,
all.
that's like I wanted, because
I'm
you and I
so
had
sorry.
talked about this a tiny bit. I
Oh,
wanted to make
hell no.
Oh no, not at all. No. But Heather, you and I had talked about this a little bit, but there are a couple of details like how you wanted Tonks to go out that I wanted to make sure of before we started putting it in. And so that was one of them. Like, was Tonks going to wait until everybody got back together to say something to them?
I think she just wanted to make her points known, but if we're not prepared for this, I won't do it.
No, you
I'll
are.
wait.
No, it's totally
Okay.
awesome. This is
Okay,
something.
because I can wait until we have more time to talk. I thought I don't know. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Do it. Do it. Do
Yeah.
it. Do
You
it.
have the floor.
So later on, at the end of the evening, once everyone has finished up with what they've decided that they're wanting to do with their last day in town, and dusk is settling in, you find at the end of this road, at the beginning of this dock, you can see the construction on this ship, and it definitely looks like it is going to be ready to sail by noon the next day. You also find your friend Tonks, who does not look to have packed for the trip. It seems as though this is the end of the line. Tonks has been on a long journey with all of you and has chosen to not continue out to sea with you.
Look, if you can't swim, it's okay. We'll throw the little guy in to get you.
I know I can always count on my brother.
I didn't say we'd get him back. I'm just saying we'll get you back.
While this may be sort of a heavy thing for you all to take on, you can see the look of hope in Tonks' eyes. This isn't a sad thing.
I entirely plan on getting back together with everybody again. Just need to go on my own way for a little bit and learn more things about myself than Midnight.
That's true. Midnight has been running with that whole group of of displacer beasts whenever you were out on the plains, and it'd be good to see her with her own kind a while. That would give the inspiration for all sorts of songs, and the stories you could tell would wow people beyond their imagination. To be able to get so close to an entire pack of displacer beasts to tell stories about what they smell like in the starlight. The world is an open book, and Tonks had set out from home with the intention of trying to create the next great story, learning more, seeing more, and experiencing more. And thanks to the lot of you, she has had a lot of experiences. It seems like maybe she just needs a break from the battle.
It won't be forever. Have fun. Be safe.
New character?
What was that?
New character?
You're cutting out a lot, baby.
Does that mean that you have a new? Is it working at all?
Still can't hear you.
No, but I know what you're trying to say. And yes.
Yes.
So fourth wall break. We're not losing Heather. We're just losing Tonks, right?
That's correct. Heather and I
Okay.
talked about this a lot, and she wants to give Tonks a break so that she can experience some other things. And so Heather has another character in mind that we are going to transition into the game tonight. But I wanted to give the space here because I know that all of your characters have a connection with Tonk's character. So I wanted to give all of you a moment to decide if there was anything in particular that you were going to try and do with Tonks on her last night.
Lord Dad is going to say, don't trust everyone you meet. Just because you're a bard and you can sing well and go into any tavern and get what you want and everything, doesn't mean you got to trust them all. They're all a bunch of lying buggers, every single one of them. Your cat, well, it's still a demon spawn, but I'm glad you like it. Enjoy the rolling plains. I gotta go.
Which is the most emotional you've ever seen him.
And then after that, gonna cast Prestidigitation on William. Now William's just covered in spots.
Again.
What?
Everyone's looking at me weird. This is odd. I don't get this. I mean, more odd than usual.
I have a question.
Hmm.
Does my microphone work now?
Occasionally.
This is very annoying.
What I think is happening is you're so close to the back wall now, it's echoing off the wall and not going into your mic.
What if I make an echo
Ooh.
chamber?
Yeah.
That works.
Okay. This is fucking ridiculous.
Thanks.
Vogue!
I spent 4 days with a user diagnosing that exact problem to know what the fuck that sounds like.
It's almost like you work in a school.
Okay. Here's what River is gonna say to Tonks. The two of you. Oh my God. Okay. River is gonna say to Tonks, please keep an eye on my family. And I'm gonna give you, hold on, I have to look at the name of the thing. My Harry-apt of wound closure. Because I've been meaning to give it to you for a really long time, and I keep not doing it. So if this is us parting ways for the time being, I would like for you to have that thing of wound closure. I cannot say the name of it. It's a necklace. Okay, I'm putting my hands down now. Bye.
Yeah, I can move that
Thank
onto
you.
your sheet later. That magic item makes it so that if you ever reduce yourself to 0 hit points or below, it brings you back up to 1 hit point.
Ooh, thank you.
Yeah, you auto stabilize.
I'll take
so
care of your
you-
family.
You can't die at least one time.
Okay.
And then it'll
It got really hot in
recharge
here.
every day. So you get one freebie.
Well, you're not gonna need that because you're not getting into battle. Remember, I'm gonna go watch the kitties play.
That just makes sure that she's safe, though.
Exactly.
I appreciate
And
it.
anyone else?
Ever since the bugbear, I have not wanted anybody at my side, nor have I trusted anyone as much to have at my side.
The bugbear.
That was
And I
before
glare
your
at the
time.
warlock as I say, obviously, some people I just can't trust. But I fully expect to go have one hell of an adventure and come back and you sell multiple copies of whatever song or whatever limerick you happen to come up with for the adventure we go off and have without you. But it won't be the same kind of adventure without you. And that's about as much as yet. Mead's on me when we meet.
I look forward to that.
Oh, Captain, my captain.
Oh, bard, my bard.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait. Did you get Torch's permission to leave?
She's free to leave. Best wishes. Give us the
Dismissed.
sending stone.
Give us the sending
Give us-
stone.
Oh yeah.
We need those.
Oh my
Best
God.
wishes and fuck off, please.
Mom comes to you and says, if you're leaving my house, you're leaving the cell phone.
Right.
That actually would have been fucking hilarious if we had found that out like 6 months from now. It's like, wait, where is that other sending stone?
Oh, I still have it.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Have you been listening this whole time? Yes.
Well, all right. Okay. So yes, Tonks sort of fades out of your life, at least out of the adventure. And yes, Heather and I have already discussed it that Tonks is a character that we all know and love, and is welcome to rejoin this game at any moment. Because there are very, 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 very many reasons in a magical world why one person from the other side of the world ended up on another side of the world.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
So, safety net. But anyway, would you like to tell everybody about your new character?
Let's bring her in.
Okay. So as that night fades on, and it gets to the point where you're only under torch and candlelight, Ren enters into the tavern, dressed for the sea. Full blue captain's coat with a red shirt underneath it. We're about ready to pull up anchor and take her out to make sure that she's leak-proof. While we're out, I thought it might be wise to introduce you to the ship's healer. Especially since,
Okay.
as I understand it from your stories, you like to shoot each other.
I'm pointing it. I'm pointing at William and Ryan, just to
It
be
lights
clear.
up for me.
Wait, it's actually more like I'm having a hard time. No. Oh, this is
For the
hard.
record-
I'm gonna stop.
For the record, that took a lot of effort not to shoot guiding shot when I did that.
All
That
right.
way.
You
So
got it?
Took effort not to do it.
Ren steps out of the doorway, and in walks a small, dark-skinned gnome.
Out of character, my character has a peg leg, so she's pegging up to you, and she's quite small.
So you're
Hello,
playing.
sweetheart. And she's looking directly at Ymir. I like the little ones.
Oh,
Ymir, you stand at least 2 feet taller than her. Actually, how tall is she as a small creature? Like they usually top out at about 2'8".
She's shorter, so she'd be just
Like two
a little
two
bit.
5-ish, something like that.
Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
yeah, she's very small, like almost toddler small,
And
and
with a tiny little peg leg.
with a tiny little peg leg.
Yeah. Oh,
My name's Madge.
I'm sorry.
Madge Letfoot. Pleasure to meet you all.
Hi, Nat. We're gonna be best friends.
Hello.
Now
Already
all
has
of
a
you,
better name than anybody here.
Madge leg. What was it?
Leadfoot.
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 At that, Lord Dadu's gonna look over to Kiddo, who's perched on his shoulder, and say, "Don't eat that one."
Oh, it'd be fun to watch you
That's
try,
fine,
though.
They're about the same size.
Amir leans forward. And what is it can you do?
I'll show you, sweetheart.
I
Uh,
really
yeah,
love Madge.
I
as
look over at
Amir,
Torch.
as
We have
as
rooms,
Amir,
right?
as Amir is looking down at their new friend, he feels the sudden impact of one large fishy fist up against his jaw. As you take 6 points of bashing damage or bludgeoning damage, as he knocks you to the ground, you can feel 3 of your teeth have come a little looser than usual. You can go ahead and show him now.
Who did that?
Ren
did
just
that?
knocked Amir in the face in order to allow the cleric to show off how she can heal.
Oh, fuck yeah. It's getting good.
Okay. All right, so
She's like, no, I'll show
pull
you
out-
later. And he's like, you can show him now. Wham!
pull out my pipe, and I get down and I blow in Ymir's face.
As
Ymir.
your whole head is enrobed in this thick cloud of smoke, and you feel it entering into you slowly. And you immediately feel like you have to gag, and then suddenly feel much more relieved. It's almost mentholating. And that will heal you for 6 points of damage. Congratulations, you've taken no damage today. You did, however, feel 3 of your teeth lift out and then seal back in the way they should be, which is a little disturbing.
Right back where they belong, sweetheart.
I was going to cast a spell today, but then she came along. I was going to cast a spell today, but that one came along. No regrets. No regrets whatsoever.
No regrets. Okay, so unless anyone has anything else they want to do tonight, we can write off that the rest of the evening you all spent telling each other stories and catching Madge up on exactly what the hell you've been doing up until now.
River rundown. But I have to go get a charger because my laptop is getting very low. I'll
Okay.
be right back.
Okie doke.
I'm gonna take
Do you go by Madge then? Just Madge?
Yep.
Or like MLF, Madge Leadfoot, MLF.
Madge is fine.
That magic little fucker.
Madge, little fucker. Funny.
Amir is a little enamored and actually asked you out loud, what kind of gear did you bring along?
A pipe, apparently.
With the healing power of smoke.
I don't
Uh,
exactly need a lot of gear, sweetheart. That's not
Lord Dadu, while we are, all getting acquainted, Lord Dadu is going to ask the very pointed question. What school of magic and or healing do you study?
So clerics don't study schools the way that wizards do. Clerics have orders. They they sort of pledge themselves to a cause or to a specific god.
Then that appropriate question.
There you go.
What order? What clerical order do you belong to?
No wrong
Getting a little
answer.
personal, I think. Okay, hold on.
Now, I was going to say no wrong answer, but do you have a character to use yet? Like a character sheet?
You, however, it didn't work at first, but now it works.
Oh, okay.
So I think so.
Okay.
I mean,
Let me
how do I do that?
Here.
How do I share with you?
Hold on. I'm going to put it into the chat here with Zoom. There. Heather, click that link that I just put in the chat. And when it opens up, select the character sheet you want to join the game.
Did I miss anything?
No.
Okay.
Not so much. Lord Dadu had asked what Madge was sort of like what their order was. And Madge basically alluded that she was not going to say. But it looks like right now Heather is connecting Madge's character sheet to our game.
Like,
There we go.
you mean Madge wouldn't say that Madge is a cleric, or wouldn't say what order of cleric?
Mostly what her order or domain was. Every cleric gets to sort of pick.
Okay. But we know that this person is a cleric.
Correct.
That's my question. Thank
That
you.
is correct.
Okay.
So, the god of life and death in this world is Fidelis. And as you've already come into contact with that god before, meeting one of his followers very soon afterwards is almost poignant, maybe ominous, something.
How do we know that this is a follower of Fidelis?
Because Madge is a healer, and life is
Oh.
Fidelis's domain.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm a
Right.
life cleric.
Death is Fidelis's domain.
What?
got it.
So I
Life
thought,
and death.
I thought death was Fidelis's domain.
He has 3 domains: life, death, and balance.
Mm.
Ew.
I'm glad you said something because I was going to say Order of the Hookah.
Order of the large fries and extra cheese.
Mm.
I'm there. Also, speaking of balance, there is a small demon above you, Heather, balancing on the back of your chair.
Hey.
Cringer. He's in battle cat mode, I think.
Oh my goodness, is that Cringer?
Mm.
He's gotten huge.
Yeah, he's huge now.
You're gonna have to change out your name for the Zoom meeting because you're no longer our barbarian.
Oh yeah. I set that when I was in rules class. I'm a ref now.
And there is no reason why you got to change that, Ryan, because you haven't ever changed yours to your character name.
Right, but
True.
I've never been a barbarian.
And you never will be with that attitude.
That's also true. But as GD likes to say, we do like to eat our own dog food around here.
Who's GD?
The place where most of us are employed. GD.
Oh, got it. Totally.
Like to refer it from Global Dynamics from Warehouse 13 or Eureka.
Warehouse 13.
Oh my God, I haven't ever put those two things together, and now I can't stop.
You know, they're the same universe?
They're in the same universe.
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
They had a
Eureka
crossover.
and Warehouse 13 are in the same universe. Yeah.
Yeah. They had a crossover episode.
Mhm.
I
They
don't
actually
know
have
what
more
y'all
than
are
one.
even talking about.
Two
This is one
shows.
What
of
if I
the
put my head up?
This is one of the
It's the
weird
only-
sci-fi series that I've told you that we should watch together.
Yeah.
Okay, does
And
this
they
help
also
with my sound?
referred to a company as GD. So anytime people refer to GD, I always say Global Dynamics because that's
Got it. Totally. Does this help with my sound?
it
Mhm.
does, and it looks cute.
Fantastic.
really
It's
cute.
great.
Yeah.
I am a strawberry head and I also glow under
It
here.
also
This is
kind of
great.
looks like there's some sort of demon behind you.
Yeah, those are my headphones.
Something
Glowing.
ominous living inside the hood
Yeah,
that
watch
uses
out.
a brook mask to masquerade.
Yeah, my little shoulder demons will get you. You better be nice to me.
Lord Dadu approves of said demon wear.
I've said it before, and I will say it again. I allow mimics in the party.
Okay, so now what? Now we're on the ship?
So now we fast forward to the next morning.
Okay.
Everything
Oh,
seemed to
motherfucking
work perfectly fine, so everybody is now boarding the ship. The top deck from side or from end to end is probably about maybe 120, maybe 150 feet. And it has two decks below it. There is a hold in the bottom area of the ship, and then there's a mid deck that's where there are quarters for all of the crew and the galley. On the main deck, there is a small cabin that is put together for the captain. You've got 3 sails, and this ship is meant to move fast. Within a couple hours of boarding, they've moved all of the supplies necessary back on deck, and most of the crew that had come here stayed behind. You now are left with just a skeleton crew necessary to run this ship, including you.
Dibs on the crow's nest.
The little bird squawks and looks at you and then walks away.
Meanwhile, River has climbed to the top of the mast so that she can look over the city of Reef before we leave.
Okay, what?
I was going to say, but before William scurries off to the crow's nest, Lord Dadu's just going to whisper just real quietly to him, I can hit you from there still, just saying.
I find it really interesting that Lord Dadu keeps whispering to William.
Darn it to apparently fan of
Here.
the follower. To Ymir. Yeah.
No,
Lord
I
Dadu.
I just found it funny that you were staying in character, but you weren't having him in character at all. like your brain was like half in and half out.
Exactly.
Oh no. It has begun.
They're contagious.
I'm
Pumpkin
so
countdown.
sorry.
Okay, so River takes perch. Emir is trying to go to the crow's nest. Lord Dadu is doing what now?
Lord
Whispering.
Dadu's just going to hang out on the main deck. he whispered something to Ymir as Ymir started to scamper away to get to the crow's nest. But
Okay, cool.
I'm just hanging out on deck, just ready for the adventure.
Awesome. The captain is standing beside the rudder, and the bosun is now steering them out of port. Within a few hours, you are now so far out that the shoreline is just a thin sliver in the distance across your horizon. And all you can smell is the salt sea air.
Can I check the surgery just to get an idea of things that I have available to me when I need them?
Sure.
Just for feeling that was what I was gonna do.
Okay, yeah, of course. Yeah, you're heading over and checking out your quarters so that you can make sure that in case you need it, you can perform whatever duties you need to. Got it. Cool. Yeah, I think that you, just like the rest of the ship, have a full stock of supplies. They're not going to stock the thing with potions because that's pretty expensive. But you've got plenty of medicine kits here, so if necessary, you can definitely stop somebody from dying by using a medicine roll. Now, what about Torch? What are you doing?
Hanging out on deck.
Awesome. Okay, then go for it.
As we're traveling out there, as I see everybody messing with the rigging and doing the basic jobs of everything, my shield would probably be left. The only weapon I have on me right now is my saber. I don't let go of my sun sword, my blade. But everything else is with the rest of the crew cabin, all my gear, everything else, and probably just wearing regular clothes. But I would want to walk amongst the crew and, why are you rigging it that way? Why are you doing this? And just ask them questions about running the ship proper.
Okay. So you're intentionally taking any precautions you can so that if you fall overboard, you might be able to get back.
As I pat my pouch that has one of my water breathing potions in it, yes.
Got it. Yeah, because the ability to breathe water but not able to swim back up from the water doesn't help you except to delay death. You will get about an hour on the ocean floor to figure out what you want to say to yourself before you go.
And hope somebody rescues you in that time.
Yeah, hope in that amount of time someone figures out how the fuck to get you back.
Mm-hmm.
Or to get down there to help you breathe more.
Good thing I live in a world of magic.
Yeah, So your heading has you going, that's southwest, towards the Golden Strait. That journey takes about maybe 2 months to make. In that time, you are going to have the ability to do any number of things along this voyage. Now, me as the DM, I have a bunch of things that are already out here for you, but I wanted to give you the opportunity to consider yourself, unless I've said something is happening, to be able to have downtime. So absolutely during this time, if there is something like I just heard Ymir is wanting to try and basically learn how to not fuck up if he is stranded at sea. And I feel like that is a very valuable skill to have. Wonderful, in fact. That is the kind of thing that will definitely come in handy should you end up needing to make some sort of a roll to understand knots later or something like that.
there's something else important. There's a really good reason why Amir would probably want this knowledge. If we
Okay.
capture a pirate ship, you keep what you kill.
All right,
I mean,
Riddick.
I mean, those are pirate rules, but
And you're
but you're
lawful
not
good.
but you're not on a pirate ship either.
Does it count as a pirate ship if we have a pirate on board?
It counts as a pirate ship if the ship commits piracy.
That
So-
makes sense.
So perhaps if Ymir were saying this, he might say, if we successfully defend ourselves from pirates, and the ship is then left empty. Just saying.
I mean, yes. I'm not fighting your ability to do any of this. It's more to be clear that I want to make sure you understand you are on a ship with sailors, not pirates.
Hmm.
So you said we've got about 2 months of downtime that we can pretty much do anything.
That's correct. And like I said, I have some random stuff that's going to come up out here. But seeing as how this is your first day, night, whatever you want to call it, out at sea, I was giving you the opportunity to choose what that night was like. Are you going to spend the night communing with your friends? Are you going to try and meet other members of the crew? Are you going to turn in early to try and get some extra sleep?
After talking to the crew and learning about as much as I can that first day, obviously, I wish to go to the back of the ship, whatever privacy I can, and I don't know how I don't know how well everyone can hear me back there, but I would say my prayers for the evening to
Hmm.
Demathan. And then once that was finished, I would actually ask, what is the watch schedule? And are
Well,
we on it?
Hmm.
thankfully, through the night, we have the perfect excuse to sleep in. As the captain slaps hand up against the back of their large, war-forged companion. Doesn't need to sleep, or eat, or breathe for that matter. I'm not entirely sure what keeps him moving, but, well, he's on our side, so that helps us. The mate leans down closer to you because he is even sitting down almost 6 feet tall. Looks down at you and says, I am also very helpful with knots.
I'll be asking questions tomorrow. All right.
Yeah, so you don't need to worry so much about who is going to be on deck. As far as if you want to take watch, there's no reason why you can't be out here. But usually mate takes care of things for us pretty well. We just let him sort of rest during the day. I'm not entirely sure how you work still.
So are we declaring just what we're doing tonight for downtime, or just in
Correct.
general?
Correct. What I was giving you is sort of an overview to let you know in case the next couple of sessions we don't get to the island for one reason or another. That is something that is entirely possible based on decisions that you make and things you run into. But tonight, I'm saying there's absolutely nothing that's going to go wrong. I'm not going to suddenly interrupt you with pirate gunfire or something like that. It is a quiet night out at sea for all of you to adjust to the idea that there isn't a land to go back to right now.
Do we have
No.
our own?
You do not have individual quarters. Now, Madge does, but that's because Madge runs the infirmary on the ship.
That makes sense.
So Lord Deadu's going to ask for just a quiet place to meditate and, for the night after seeing all the fun, fantastic things that are going on. Lord Deadu is just going to try to meditate and communicate with his coin.
Okay. Okay. I'll come back to that. Is anybody going to declare anything else in particular?
Imagine probably fun, wherever the crew are having drink and join them and smoke a pipe and laugh.
Yeah, so probably down in the crew's quarters, that's where the real ruckus would be, because the galley is a place for everybody to go in and cook and eat. But it's not really big enough for the entire crew at once. So either you would be on deck hanging out with whoever was out there in the starlight, or you'd be in the crew quarters where everybody would be bunking down. But these are sailors, so it's not like they work a 9 to 5. So yeah, the first night out at sea, it does make sense. The ship has been restored. The crew is in good spirits. You are now back set for home, and you no longer have to worry about what kind of bullshit might be going on. Because even though you might not have a vested interest in the emotional side of the captain trying to find his niece, the fact that it happened means that everything is on the up and up, and you no longer have to worry about encountering pirates, probably. Probably. Percentile dice are fun. And I assume that because of the amount of time that was spent apart, that Torch, you would probably spend most of the evening hanging out with your uncle, trying to catch up and make sure that you understand what's going on back home. And he understands what's happened since you left from your perspective, instead of just hearing your crew's story. Over the course of the evening, he explains the journey that they went on and why it went wrong. Because the last time that they received any word about where your ship was heading, it was headed towards the prison. So that's where they went first. And along their path, they ended up finding themselves in a maelstrom. And it took them 3 days to get through it. Once they did, though, their masts were snapped, their sails were destroyed, and it was up to them to find their way back to port in order to get themselves anywhere safe. So in this time that you've been gone, he has been lost out at sea for probably the last 3 months before he met you. But before that, before he set out to try and find you, things back in the islands had gotten a little dangerous, because there had been more pirate activity than had been there in the last few years. And not the kind that were just there to spend gold and drink rum. The kind that were there to cause trouble. So I'm not entirely sure what we're going home to, but I'm glad to have you back, kid. Was there anything that you wanted to do beyond that, Torch? Okay, cool. So yes, the next night, or that night rolls through. You end up having a very good evening, peaceful, calm. You all wake well rested. And the next morning at first light, the light is now peering through the cracks in the boards. So down in the crew's quarters, it's not pitch black. It's kind of shadowy, but it's enough to get around in for anyone that decides to go topside. Right, to pull up my table. Okay. So I assume that everyone is going to rise and exit, but I'm giving everyone the opportunity that if you decide that you want to stay and sleep in and not know what's going up on top, speak now.
Heading up. We're so long.
Used to rising early, so I'll definitely head up.
Okay. Up on deck, several of the crew have already stirred awake, and you see there's 4 or 5 people along the side. One of them with a spyglass. Off in the distance, along the horizon, you see what looks to be birds flying at you. And the mate with the spyglass puts it down out of shock and falls over onto the deck. Prepare for dragons. The crew immediately begins to panic as sails are pulled in so that they don't catch fire, and cannons begin being readied. William, the spyglass rolls along and hits you in the foot.
I gleefully pick it up and start looking the direction that they're looking.
Okay. I would like you to make an Arcana check for me.
Okay.
Actually, William, and this is not just because you rolled a 2, but I'm going to give it to you with advantage because you've actually seen a dragon up close before.
Yeah. I feel like the universe doesn't want me to know anything about what's coming.
Okay. For anyone that is going to watch this later, William rolled a 2, and then with advantage rolled a 0. So, yeah. Amir looks off in the distance through the spyglass and is just baffled by how far away everything seems as he lifts it to his eye the wrong way. How can anyone see anything with this damn thing, he thinks.
In real life, I've seen people use binoculars wrong.
It happens, unfortunately. Does anyone else want to take a gamble with this thing now that they see Amir struggling?
Mab is gonna just scurry up next to him and say, "Mind if I borrow that, no?"
I have a very confused look on my face as I reach it towards you, and I'm still staring at the horizon, trying to make out what it is.
Yeah, you are still so baffled by what's off there that now it's somehow closer, but still so far away you can't tell what the hell it is. As Madge takes no time at all figuring out that they can turn around the spyglass. Would you like to make an Arcana roll for me, Heather?
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, if this one comes up a nat 1, we're throwing out the entire adventure for the night.
29.
Yeah, a 29, super. You immediately realize that having sailors that are not skilled adventurers does not make them especially good lookouts. What is coming up towards you is not a group of dragons. In fact, it is a group of wyverns, which are still flying reptilian-like creatures. It's not surprising that they can be mistaken for dragons, because when they're far off like that, they look about the same shape. When they get close, though, you'll notice that, first of all, there are no wyverns that are larger than a large-sized creature. So at top 20 feet tall, at like their greatest, where dragons can be fucking massive. Also, wyverns do not have front claws, where a dragon has front feet and back feet. Wyverns have big wings with sort of vestigial claws on the wings. So there are these little details that are the kind of thing that the usual person wouldn't notice and would immediately assume dragon. What that means, though, is that where this group could be anything up to a challenge of, like, I guess the equivalent of like level 90 characters with 3 of them on the horizon, wyverns are about the equivalent of a level 8 per. So not easy, but also not deadly. As Madge is not even fazed by the idea that these are wyverns versus dragons. Dragons might have gotten her out of bed in the morning.
Is it dragons?
Wyvern. I love riding wyverns.
Oi! And Amir runs back downstairs to go grab his armor.
All of a sudden, at the prospect of being able to ride on some giant beast, Amir is immediately in.
Motivation is motivation.
Motivation is motivation. All right, so people are now beginning to get ready so that they don't have to worry about what this could mean for them. It's a little late for initiative. I'll wait for us to roll initiative next time. However, I would like you all to sort of decide for me what it is that you're going to do now. Take your position, find a place to hunker down, climb up to the highest point possible. You going to find a way to get closer to them yourself before they get to the ship?
Where are they in relation to us?
They're about probably about 4 or 5 miles off the starboard. It's far enough off that none of you have a spell that would be able to reach them at this point.
I have a question.
What's that?
Does the druid spell speak with animals work on dragons?
Yes.
And how far is the range on that? I know they're not close enough right now, but
I mean, well, this is a wyvern, not a dragon, but
whatever. That's what I meant.
Point still stands. Let's see. The range is self. So what that means is that you will be able to speak with any animals that are within range to be able to hear you communicate verbally.
Verbally?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, it says specifically verbally.
Okay. So they would have to be pretty close to hear me.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody have a spell to magnify a voice?
Good question.
Prestidigitation.
So yeah.
Great. So I think I might even have prestidigitation.
I believe that's right.
Yeah, I have it too.
Okay, so what I'm thinking is that when they get close enough, I'd like to try to talk to them and figure out what they are doing, if they like what's their motive. Because maybe they're just flying by and we don't need to fight them.
Actually, I'm wrong. Prestidigitation does not do that.
Okay.
I think I'm thinking of thaumaturgy.
Or if somebody wants, oh, what?
It's the spell thaumaturgy. That's the one that does that.
Okay. Well, that's my idea. That's all I've got. It's so far past my bedtime. That's the best we're going to get tonight from me. Try to talk to the wyvern and ask it to please not attack us. That's my plan.
You know, what's
like
what's great what's great about that though is that you do have someone in the party that can cast thaumaturgy.
Great.
It's a cleric spell.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard it, I think. Mhm.
So it
Yeah.
would be your voice booms up to 3 times as loud as normal for 1 minute.
Okay. Hey, we have that GoDaddy blanket, the blue and black one.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I trip over it once a week because it gets left on the floor.
Oh,
Yes.
I recognize it well.
The children
Okay, well,
love
I'd
that
like to
blanket.
try that if y'all are willing. I think
Okay.
we could maybe avoid a fight with wyverns
Okay.
after we just
So
repaired this ship.
you're going to like what? Like wait sort of when they're within range?
I thought that, or maybe somebody could fly me over there, but I don't know. Like I said, it's getting late and I'm not forming full thoughts here.
180 meters in still air, 360 meters away, so like 10 something. So yeah, you can effectively yell if you yell, and
Mhm.
your voice can be heard from literally a mile away.
Super.
So,
And they're
yeah,
less than a mile away, so I could yell and be like,
they are more than a mile away.
oh, okay.
But you could wait until they get closer.
Yeah, I think I'll just wait until they get closer and try that.
Okay.
Unless somebody else has a different idea. I don't want to railroad us into that.
I like
No.
that idea.
Lord Daddy's
Okay.
gonna go to the front of the ship, just the very front, and just try to keep an eye on the incoming flock
Okay.
and at the
Uh,
ready.
um, Dadu,
Yeah.
uh, actually, you know what? Hold on. Uh, this is where I'm going to call game this week. As far as forward momentum, what we're going to be doing quest-wise, I'm going to stop it here. But I would like to revisit where I said that Lord Daddy was going to try and spend time talking to his coin. I'd like to give you a moment to take in what that does.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So you spend your time with your coin trying to get it to talk to you, trying to get it to work with you the way that you've seen the other coins work. And you can feel the force of will behind it resisting you. You know already that this thing has basically demanded that the only way for it to work with you, for you to be able to have any control, is you have to be willing to die. And every time that you've sat down to try and talk with this thing, you've noticed that the winds around you get louder and louder. And this time, you notice that as it's happening, you can no longer hear the people around you. The longer you're focused on that coin, all you can hear is the whipping wind. I need you to make me a charisma save.
In a momento.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. You can feel that whatever this is, it's meant to intimidate you, but it doesn't.
That's
You can tell that this is meant to scare off anyone. that even tries. And the harder and harder it pushes back on you, it doesn't seem to faze you. Maybe it's because of all of the empty threats that you've received from your mother over the years. Maybe it's because you've seen what real power is and you don't believe what this is going to do. Maybe it's just because you're that damn tough. But for some reason, this thing doesn't get under your skin. This is the kind of thing, though, that both Emir and Torch would be very acutely aware of whenever you tried to commune with this coin, because it's the kind of thing that makes theirs react poorly. That weight that you feel whenever the coin can't work anymore, the kind of dragging you down to your knees level of weight, it happens every single time he tries to talk to his coin. You feel this incredible weight. Basically, what it is, as far as the mechanics side of this, is you're feeling as though exhaustion is beginning to set in. Because he's trying to do something with this coin and trying to force the attunement, even though that's not how this works.
So to clarify, I'm not trying to force the attunement. I'm trying just to have conversations with the coin.
It's the same thing. Because the only way to communicate with the coin is to attune to it. So if you're trying to continue to have this conversation and trying to commune with it and trying to connect with it, that's attunement.
Okay, well then, yeah, I'm trying.
Mm-hmm.
Does Thorm tell me this, or is this just a feeling that I get?
To be honest, the one thing that I really haven't talked about with either of you, you or Kelly, is really more a question of how do your how do you feel like your characters would react, knowing that this one coin is the one that is supposed to be leading all of them and is also the one that was most recently owned and corrupted by a lich that you had to slay. So it is entirely possible that what the hell is in that coin is not what it was before. Now, Thorum is a character that is based entirely on the idea of glory, and you've changed him into one that is more a matter of conquest than glory. So that now it's more a matter of being able to achieve a goal instead of being able to take the pride. And Ludite is the only member of the group that seems to understand what is going on in the world, more informed and wise than any other person that you've actually had any contact with outside of a god. And the reaction from both of them, naturally, not as far as their demeanor, the way that they talk to you, but their ability to exist within your consciousness wavers anytime that Lord Dadu tries to talk to his coin. So
I sense something is wrong. Is there something I can do for you?
There's nothing that you can do. There's nothing that I can do. The only option that we have here is to hope that that motherfucker over there doesn't kill us.
Oh, it's not like he doesn't try.
Right?
Oh, little prick. One of these days, he's going to figure out that I'm exactly one bad decision away from casting Firewall and hugging him. That's not out loud. Don't metagame.
So, Kelly, what do you think? The coin that you have deals mostly in logic and reason. Think Vulcans. And tell me, combined with what you feel Torch is like in a situation where she is having to be very, very close to something that is drastically uncomfortable. And now knowing that this creature that is basically dependent on her to exist is not able to function the way that they should, that this is definitely harming her in some way.
Isn't that part of the adventure we're on, is to try to get the coins figured out?
It is.
So, like,
It absolutely
so-
is.
Like, I would want to reassure her that we're on our adventure to figure out what's going on.
And I think that that is a very valid thing, because the one thing that she wouldn't trust is your group before she knew you. So you would have more experience with Lord Dadu to know whether or not he was actually trying to attune to some dark and horrible thing intentionally so that he could conquer the world or whatever. You would know that even if whatever he's doing right now might not be the most comfortable thing for her, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a threat to her. So while Thorum is more concerned with, I don't fucking like this, but we can't do anything about it, Luddite is trying to inspire you to do something about it, but trusts you. If something has happened, then whatever is in that coin might not be the thing that we think it is. Each of us is changed by whoever owns us. The experiences we have, it's a lifetime of memories that never leave us. So there's no telling what we might encounter once he figures out how to do this. I'm concerned with what kind of power that might give him, not so much what this might do to us. Just be wary, because he might not be able to control what he thinks he can. And that's basically the overarching feeling she gives you throughout this. She trusts your guidance, that you believe that things are going to be fine, that that's just the way adventures roll. But she's not ignoring the fact that this is definitely a bad sign of whatever the hell that is. She wants to make sure you know that too. Well, we are almost exactly at time now. Sorry, we did that a little out of order. I lost track of where I was. But I felt like that was important to make sure happened because that's an important part of your story. Now, I would like to make sure that I highlight a thing for you. I'm pretty sure Ryan still knows this, but I want to make sure that I remind you as character what that case can do. And so what I'm telling you right now is that this isn't me as the DM saying do this. This is me saying that if you want to avoid having to attune to something entirely, you can put it in the fucking box.
I know. And out of character, I keep thinking, well, if it doesn't want to attune to me, I can threaten it. You either start talking or in the box you go. Yeah, I know you want me to do it, but that's just because Thorum's afraid of everything.
Ooh.
Again, that's out of character.
I was gonna say, damn. All right, there's some fighting words. Although I gotta say, Emir, you're in like double shit if you fall overboard because that water turns off Thorum's coin.
Fair.
I didn't think about that until right now, but that is an added danger. But anyway, that is officially where I'm going to end things tonight. I'm going to go ahead and kill the recording.